morning. Today, before we begin our practice, I'm going to talk a little bit about pigeon pose. Pigeon pose is a really nice hip opener if you've got tight hips. It's really good if you have sciatic pain, lower back pain. Sometimes it really helps with that. And there's a couple different ways that you can come into pigeon pose. And there's also some things you can do depending on if you have pain in certain areas to make that pain go away and still be able to get a nice stretch in the pose. So the way that I usually come into pigeon pose is from downward facing dog. You lift up the leg, and as you breathe out, drop that leg down in front of you. The knee should be out of the side of the hips, and that lower front leg is pushing towards coming parallel with the short end of the mat. It doesn't need to be parallel right there. It just needs to reach in that direction, as opposed to having the knee pointing straight forward towards the short end of the mat. You pull the knee out and push that lower leg forward. If you feel like it's really at a steep angle and you can't go any deeper, that's perfectly fine. You're going to want to flex those toes, those front toes, to protect the knee. And there's a couple places that you can put a block here. You can take a block and stick it underneath the front hip if it's feeling like it's pushing down to the ground too much in an uncomfortable way. And you can also put a block under the back hip. I'll switch legs here so you can see how that works. So you can take a block and just stick it right there, sort of under the front part of your back leg. So that sometimes makes a difference if you feel like you can't go so deep and that hurts. Now, some people have trouble getting into pigeon pose that way. So you can also come in from sort of a cross-legged position and just swing one of your legs around to the back and then roll onto the front of that leg. Once you get here, you're going to want to make sure that that back leg is pointing straight back. And to come deeper into the pose, you can see right here, if this is enough already, you're welcome to stay here. To come deeper in the pose, you would take a big breath in, pushing up the chest. And on your exhale, you walk your hands out in front of you. Now, you might only come to your forearms and decide that that's deep enough. You don't want to go any deeper. You can also set a block here underneath your forehead. You can even set a block at a little bit of a higher height if you don't want to go any deeper, to give your forehead a little bit of relaxation. Just let your forehead rest on that block. Or you can come all the way down to the ground on the forehead. The whole time you're in pigeon pose, you want to make sure to keep those front toes flexed, really protecting your knee. And when you come up, you want to lift up the chest on a breath in, and then you can come out of the pose. There's another variation if the one on your belly really doesn't feel good. You can also take pigeon pose on your back. In that case, you lie on your back with your knees pointing up to the sky. And instead of having the legs out in front of you, you're going to bring them into your chest. So you cross one ankle over the opposite knee. Push that knee away. Or you can reach your hands out and grab outside that lower leg. You can also bring your hands into the crease of the knee right there. If it's kind of too far and uncomfortable to grab outside the foot, you can just grab right there and then pull those into your chest. While you're pulling your legs into your chest, you want to be pushing your tailbone back down flat on the mat. So you're kind of doing two opposite things here, pulling the knees in, pushing the tailbone down. They're kind of fighting with each other. You want to find that middle ground where you're still pushing the tailbone down, still pulling the knees in. So those are the two pigeon variations. And if we come into one and it seems really uncomfortable, you can always try the other one while we're doing pigeon pose. It's traditional to stay in pigeon pose for a while. Pigeon pose is a yin yoga pose. It's one of those really deep relaxation poses that you can stay in for quite a long time. I usually stay in for about 9 breaths. And you're, again, always welcome to come out if that feels like it's too much and you don't want to be in there anymore. You just listen to your body and figure out what's right for you. All right. Let's begin today. If you want to find some music, you're always welcome to visit Mora Rachey on SoundCloud, spelled just like my YouTube channel. And there's some yoga mixes there. Let's start our flow. Come into child's pose. Knees can be together or wide. Make sure your toes aren't overlapping. Take a deep breath in, lifting your hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Stretch your hands out in front of you and relax your forehead down towards the ground. Listen to your breath, beginning to deepen and lengthen each breath. Feel your back rising and falling as you breathe in and out. Feel your rib cage expanding out to the side on your inhale. And gently coming back in as you exhale. Start to listen for your yoga breath, the Ujjayi breath. That nice, loud breath you can hear in the back of your throat. And let your breath fill your mind. Pushing away all other thoughts, bringing you fully into your body, here and now, in this moment. Start to do your body scan. From the tips of your fingers, work your awareness through your hands, into your wrists and elbows, to the shoulders, into the back of your neck. Notice how your face is feeling today, facial muscles in your jaw. And then start to move down your spine, all the way into the hips, noticing any back pain you have today. Work your way down through the legs, into the knees, ankles, and toes. As you go through, just make a note of how you feel today, especially in any sore parts. Remind yourself of any injuries you have that may affect your abilities to come into a pose. And remember, as you go through your practice, that you are always welcome to take a break in child's pose on your back or belly, or modify any pose to suit your body, just making this practice your own. Take a few more deep, full breaths here, just being inside of your body. Come into puppy pose, crawl your fingertips forward, lifting the hips up. Reach your chin or chest down towards the mat. Your hips can come right above your knees or just behind. On your next inhale, bring your hands back, lifting up your chest. Make your way to hands and knees, tabletop. And adjust so that your knees come right below the hips. Wrists come right below the shoulders. Start moving through cat-cow. Always going with the breath here. Inhale, drop the belly down, roll the shoulders back, bring the gaze up or forward. Exhale, rounding out through the spine. Push your back up towards the ceiling. Relax your head and neck down. Bring your gaze through your knees. Keep moving just like that at your own pace with your breath. Warming up the belly and the spine here. Come back to a neutral spine on a breath in. Exhale into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up. Pedal out your legs, bend one knee down at a time. Just get the blood flowing through the knees and the hips. Check in with your shoulders here. You want to make sure those shoulder blades are sliding down the back towards the hips, out of the ears. You can push your chest back towards the knees. Let your head and neck dangle down towards the ground. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step your foot through between your hands and drop your left knee down to the mat. Inhale, rising up to low lunge. You're always welcome to drop your hands down to your knee if you're feeling wobbly. And when you're ready, lift those hands up, turn the pinkies and keep the shoulders sliding down the back. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, twisting around to the right. Left hand drops across the right knee, and the right arm is reaching back. Maybe your right arm is lining up at the back leg. Maybe it's just reaching towards that direction. On your next inhale, lift your hands back up overhead. Exhale, drop your hands down, framing the front foot. Bring your weight back onto your left leg and lift your right toes up. And then slide or scoot the right heel forward. If your mat's really sticky, you might have to lift your heel up off the mat. You can always bring your blocks here underneath your hands at any height. Find your edge and pull back just a little bit. Make sure you're pushing your edge from the inside. Bend and straighten your front knee. Moving in and out of the pose really gently. Still warming up. If you like, you can bend your elbows back and lower down your chest over the front leg to go even deeper into the pose. On your next breath in, lift your chest up. Slide or scoot the right heel back. Set your blocks to the side if you still have them. Set your right foot down on the mat. Tuck your left toes under. Left knee pops up. Look forward. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, step your left foot up to your right. Forward fold. Half lift to breathe in. Bring your torso parallel to the ground. Forward fold on your breath out, relaxing the upper body down. Inhale, rising up to standing, bend your knees. Roll your spine up one vertebrae at a time. Float your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretch. Inhale, hands high. Interlace your fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the right. Back up to center to breathe in. And to the left as you breathe out. Up to center, inhale. Standing back bend on your exhale. Come straight back up to breathe in. Exhale, diving forward, keeping the spine really long as you go down. Half lift, breathing in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Plant your hands, hop or step back to your high plank. Lower down halfway, elbows tucked in, back up, breathing in. And down again as you breathe out. Up dog or cobra on your inhale, coming into the tops of the feet. Exhale, roll over your toes, lift your hips up, down facing dog. Let's try the left side. Left heel comes high, take a deep breath in. Exhale, step the foot through between the hands and drop the right knee down to the mat. Inhale, up to low lunge. You can bring your hands straight up or you can drop them down to the knee if you're feeling a bit wobbly. Once you get your hands up, turn those pinkies in. One more deep breath in here. Exhale, twisting around to the left. Drop the right hand across the left knee and reach your left hand back. Maybe it's lining up with the back leg, or just come as close as you can. Come back up, breathing in. Exhale, drop your hands down, framing the front foot. Bring your weight back onto your right leg and lift your left toes up. Start to slide or scoot that left heel forward. Again, here's a chance to use some blocks underneath your hands if you've got them. Gently bend and straighten the front knee. Exploring your range of motion. Notice where you feel that stretch as you bend and straighten. Changes position a little bit. To go deeper into the pose, bend your elbows back and lower down your head over your front leg. On your next breath in, push your chest up. Slide or scoot your left heel back and set your left foot down on the mat. You can set those blocks to the side if you've still got them. Take your right toes under, right knee pops up. Look forward to the big breath in. Exhale, stepping the right foot up to the left, forward fold. Half lift as you breathe in. You can bring your hands to shins or float them over the ground. Forward fold as you breathe out. Inhale all the way to standing, bend your knees, letting your arms dangle down until you lift your head up and then bring the hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Side stretching. Let's turn to the left first. Inhale, hands high. Interlace your fingers, pointers up. Exhale, stretching down to the left. Back up to center, breathing in. And to the right as you breathe out. Inhale to center. Exhale, standing back bend. Be really gentle with the neck here. Come straight back up on a breath in. Exhale, forward fold, keeping the spine really long as you go down. Half lift, breathing in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. You can drop your knees down to the mat if you like here. Up, dog or cobra, pull the chest through the shoulders. And exhale to downward facing dog. One last sun salutation. No side stretch this time. We're going to go straight up and down. Bend your knees, lift your hands, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hopper step between the hands, forward fold. Half lift as you breathe in, pull the shoulders down the back. Forward fold as you breathe out, relaxing the upper body down. Inhale to standing nice and slow. Take your whole breath to come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Straight back down. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips. Half lift to breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Try to keep the soles of the feet parallel to the wall behind you as you're lowering down. Up dog or cobra, breathing in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. Lift your right foot high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step your foot through between your hands and rise up to warrior one. Back foot comes down at about a 45-degree angle. Front toes are pointing straight towards the short end of the mat. Front knee has a nice deep bend in it, right over that ankle. And you want to square your hips off as close as you can come towards that short end of the mat. Sometimes you might feel like that back left hip is kind of behind the right. That's okay. You just want to push it forward as much as you can while keeping that back pinky toe edge still glued down to the mat. Once you've got your hips straight forward or as close as you can come, inhale, lift your hands up, turn the pinkies in. Coming into humble warrior, take a deep breath in here. Exhale, sweep your hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers, push down, puff up your chest. Take a deep breath in. Fold forward as you breathe out, keeping those shoulders really locked down the back, leading with the chest. Once you find your edge, relax your head and neck down and peel your arms off your back. Push through the hands up towards the sky. Feel the shoulder blades sliding down the back towards the hips. Your right side body can rest here against the right inner thigh. Your head and neck should just be dangling down towards the ground. On your next breath in, rise back up to warrior one. And let's come into pyramid pose. Straighten out the front knee. Open out your arms wide to the sides. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine really long. Stop when your torso comes parallel to the ground and drop your gaze down to your big toe. Imagine strings pulling your arms straight out in either direction, pulling the crown of your head straight forward, stretching that spine really long. Take one more big breath in here. Exhale, release your hands down. Again, here's a chance to find those blocks at any height is fine. And just plant your hands on either side of your foot. Relax your head and neck down over your front knee. The front knee in pyramid pose is traditionally straight. If that's not accessible to you, that's okay. You can gently bend and straighten that front knee. Little micro bend, pushing it back towards straight. Just notice how that stretch feels. You probably feel it most intensely on the back of the front leg. If you want to come deeper into the fold, you can bend your elbows. Brings the chest even closer into the front knee. Transitioning to revolve triangle pose. Left hand comes right next to the right foot on a block or on the mat. Bring all the weight to your left hand. Inhale, lifting your right arm high, opening up the chest toward the side. Try to stack your shoulders here. We're bringing our arms towards being perpendicular with the ground. Just reaching in that direction is okay. You can't get all the way there. If it's right on your neck, you can bring your gaze up towards your upper hand. Take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, release your right hand back down to the ground. Bend your right knee, rise back up to warrior one on a breath in. And open out to warrior two. As you breathe out, pivot your back foot around, bringing your feet perpendicular. Front heels intersecting the back heel or the back arch. Arms are stretching straight forward and back. Peek back on the back hand and make sure it's nice and high. Sometimes it likes to droop down when you're not looking at it. And then bring your gaze right over your front middle finger. Yoga jumping jacks, 5 of them at your own pace with your breath. Inhale, knees straight, hands up. Exhale, slowly sinking back down to warrior two. 4 more. Try to take your whole breath to complete each motion. 3, feel every muscle working together. 2, and last one. Coming into triangle pose, straighten out the front knee. If you want to scoot that back foot just a little bit closer to the front foot, make sure your feet are still perpendicular. Send your hips toward the back of the mat. Stretch your right arm forward, lengthening the spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, make a quarter turn with your arms, bringing the arms perpendicular to the floor. And check in with your back, left hip here. Sometimes in pyramid pose, that back hip starts to fold forward towards the ground. You want to push it back in line with the body. It's more important to keep your hips really in line with the body than it is to come down very far at all. If you feel like you're sort of slipping down towards the ground and you want something to put that right hand on, you can have a block underneath your right hand on either side of that front leg, or just rest your hand against the front leg. Gaze can come up towards the upper hand if it feels okay on the neck. On your next inhale, bend your front knee, rise back up to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, frame the front foot. Send your right heel high as you breathe in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. Keep that foot up if you like. Drop it down to the mat if you like. Up, tiger cobra, breathing in. And exhale to downward facing dog. Let's do it on the left. Left heel comes high. Take a deep breath in. Step the foot through between the hands as you breathe out. And rise up to warrior one. Back foot comes down at about a 45-degree angle. Front knee is right over the ankle. Front toes pointing straight towards the short end of the mat. Check back on your back hip, pulling the right hip forward while making sure to keep the right pinky toe edge rooted down to the mat. It's okay if your hips aren't perfectly squared off towards the front. Just as close as you can come. Hands are up, hankies turned in. Humble warrior, take a deep breath in here. Exhale, sweeping the hands behind the back. Interlace your fingers, push down, puff up the chest, big breath in. Folding forward on your breath out, leading with the chest. Once you find your edge, let your head and neck dangle down. Left side body can rest against left inner thigh and peel your arms off your back. Push through your hands, feel the shoulder blades sliding down the back, out of the ears. On your next breath in, rise back up to warrior one. And come into pyramid pose. Straighten out the front knee. Open out the arms wide to the sides. Take a deep breath in here. As you breathe out, fold forward, hinging from the hips. Keeping the spine really straight and long as you go down. Stop when your torso comes parallel to the ground. Drop your gaze down to your big toe. Stretch your arms out really long in either direction. Crown of the head is stretching straight forward, lengthening the spine. Take one more big breath in here. And release your hands down as you breathe out. Again, here's a chance to find those blocks under your hands if you've got them. Or just plant your hands on the mat on either side of the foot. Relax your head and neck down over your front knee. And notice what's going on with the front knee. You can have your knee perfectly straight, or maybe you want to play with that bend, gently bending and straightening. Feel the back of the leg. Feel that stretch intensifying as you push your knee back towards straight. Coming into revolve triangle pose. Right hand comes right next to the left foot on the mat or on a block. All weight comes to the right hand. Inhale, lifting your left arm high, opening up the chest toward the side. It's okay on your neck. Bring your gaze up towards your upper hand and check back in with your back right foot. Notice how that pinky toe edge is doing. Try to keep it really rooted down to the mat. Take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, release. Drop your left hand back down to the ground. Bend your left knee. Rise back up to warrior one. Breathing in. And open out to warrior two. As you breathe out, sending your arms straight out in either direction. Keep that nice deep bend in the front knee. Feet are perpendicular now. Front heels intersecting the back heel or the back arch. Hips open towards the long edge of the mat. Peek on the back hand, making sure it's nice and high. And then bring the gaze right over the front middle finger. Yoga jumping jacks. 5 times with the breath. Inhale, knees straight, arms up overhead. Exhale, sinking back down to warrior two. 4 more. Just go with your breath at your own pace. I'm just counting so you know where I am. 3. 2. And last one. Coming into into triangle pose. Straighten out the front knee. Scoot your back foot a little bit closer to the front foot, making sure to keep your feet perpendicular to each other. Send your hips toward the back of the mat. Stretch your left arm forward. Take a deep breath in, lengthening the spine. On your breath out, make that quarter turn with your arms. Check in with the right hip, making sure that right hip is still really open towards the side. Gaze can come up towards the upper hand. Imagine that you're between 2 walls that are very close together here. And on your next inhale, bend your front knee, rise back up to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, frame the front foot. Send your left heel high, breathing in. Double dip chaturanga, breathing out. You can keep your foot up or drop it down. Drop your knees down to the mat if you like. Inhale, top dog or cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. Let's take a little break. Make your way to child's pose. Drop your knees down to the mat. Untuck your toes. Push your hips back to your heels and relax your forehead down to the ground. Relax through the arms. Let your elbows come down to the mat. If you like, you can bring your knees together and wrap your hands back towards your feet with your palms facing up. Just letting the shoulders drape over the knees. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Nice, strong, deep breath here. Stretching the breath out. If your hands are wrapped back towards your feet, bring them back out in front of you. On an inhale, lift your chest up, coming to hands and knees, tabletop. Exhale, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, lift your hands, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hop or step between the hands, forward fold. Half lift, breathing in. Forward fold as you breathe out. Plant your hands on either side of your feet and turn your fingertips around so that they're facing behind you. Push down through the curve in the bottom of the palm. If you can't reach all the way down to the ground here, you can always find some blocks underneath your hands. Again, at any height is fine. Feel that nice stretch in the rising up to standing, bend your knees, inhale, coming all the way up, rolling up your spine, float your hands up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Let's do some chair planes. Coming into chair pose, you can bring your big toes together to touch with some space between the heels, or you can choose to have your feet on two different train tracks. Whichever one feels better for you is fine. Inhale, lifting your hands up. Exhale, sitting back into your chair. Push your hips down and back. Wiggle your toes. Make sure most of the weight's in your heels. Pull the shoulders down the back. Feel the crown of the head stretching up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in here. On your exhale, sweep your hands back behind you. Chest comes down to the knees and try to lift your heels off the ground. 2 more times with the breath. Inhale up to chair, keeping the hips really low. Exhale, sweeping the hands back. You can lift your heels a tiny bit or a whole lot or even not at all. Last one, inhale to chair. Keep your hips really low. Exhale, chair plane. On your next breath in, come all the way back up to standing. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Big toe pose. Bring your feet hip width distance apart. Inhale, lift your hands high. Exhale, diving forward. Nice long spine. Once you get down, you're going to grab onto your big toes one at a time. Take your middle finger and index finger. Slide them in between the big toe and the second toe. Wrap them underneath the toe and lock them in place with the thumb. Once you've got both toes, relax your head and neck down. You can bend your knees as much as you need to be able to grab onto those toes. You can also bend your elbows out to the sides to come deeper into the fold. If you like, you can find some movement here. Bend one knee and then the other. Nod your head yes. Take a big breath in. And shake your head no. Breathe it out. Once again, nod your head yes. Deep inhale. Shake your head no. Exhale. Release your hands from your toes. Weight comes to your fingertips to heel till your feet back together again. Bend your knees. Inhale all the way up to standing. Nice and slow. Hands come up overhead. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Dancer's pose. I'm going to mirror you, so I'll be doing the opposite side. Bring all the way to your left foot. Right hand comes out like you're holding a tray. Sweep that hand down and back. Make sure your elbow crease and the palm of your hand are both still facing straight out to the side. And then kick your right foot up and grab the big toe side of the foot so your thumb is on top and your fingers are underneath on the top of the foot. If this is already enough of a challenge, you can stay right here. If you want a bit more, inhale, lifting your left arm high. And exhale, fold forward. Bend your standing leg just a little bit to help with balance. Lift that right foot up behind you. On your next inhale, rise back up to standing. And release, shake out. And try it on the other side. All weight comes to the right foot. Left hand comes out like you're holding a tray. Sweep your hand down and back, keeping the palm of the hand and the crease of the elbow facing out to the side. Kick your left foot up and grab the big toe side of the foot. Make sure you didn't twist that arm around. If this is already enough, you can stay right here. Even if you came forward on the other side, maybe this side is different and your balance is a little bit more wobbly here. If you want to come deeper, inhale, lifting the right arm high. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips. Lift the left foot up behind you. You can bend your standing knee to help with balance. On your next breath in, come back up to standing. And release, shake out. Coming into hand to foot pose. Feet are hip width distance apart on the mat. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine really long. Relax your head and neck down. And then lift up your toes one at a time. Slide your hand underneath your foot so that the palm of the hand is facing the sole of the foot. And your toes are resting right in the crease of the wrist. Again, you can bend your knees as much as you need to get the hands all the way underneath the feet. And once you've got them both underneath, you can find some movement, bending one knee and then the other. If you want to come deeper into the fold, bend your elbows out to the side and bring your chest closer into your legs. Release your hands out from under your feet. Weight comes to your fingertips to heel, toe your feet back together again. Take a half lift, breathing in. Exhale, plant your hands, hop or step back to your high plank, double dip chaturanga. Up dog or cobra, breathing in. And downward facing dog as you breathe out. Pigeon pose. Lift your right foot high, take a deep breath in. Exhale, send your knee forward, drop the lower leg down onto the mat so that your knee is outside of the hip. And you want to push that lower leg towards the direction of coming parallel with the front edge of the mat. Remember, it doesn't need to be perfectly parallel, just reaching that way. Flex your right toes to protect your knee. Take a deep breath in, pushing your chest up. Exhale, walk your hands out in front of you. You can always find a block here in any of those spots. Under your back hip, under your front hip, maybe under your forehead. Find a nice comfortable position. Relax into the pose. And focus on your breath. On your next inhale, lift your chest up. Plant your hands on the mat. Tuck your left toes under. Left knee pops up. Lift your right foot up to the sky. Open up the hip. Bend the knee back. Bend and straighten that leg. Drop your knee down, do some circles, get into the hip, getting out any kinks you got in there in pigeon pose, and make sure you find circles in both directions. And then release your right foot back down to the mat. Let's turn on the left to left. Heel comes high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, send your knee forward. Drop that lower leg down onto the mat. Push the lower right leg towards the direction of coming parallel with the mat. Pull the left leg. Pull the left knee out of the hips and flex your left toes. Push your chest up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, walk your hands forward, lowering down your chest over your front leg. Relax your forehead down. And focus on your breath. Take nice, long, deep breaths here. On your next breath in, lift your chest up. Plant your hands on the mat. Tuck your right toes under. Right knee pops up. Lift your left leg high. Open up the hip. Bend the knee back. Bend and straighten the leg. And drop your knee down. You're doing some circles with that hip. Make sure you go both ways. And then release your left foot back down to the mat. Open up your feet. Bring your pinky toes to touch the outside edges of the mat. Coming into a down dog twist. You can walk your hands a little bit closer to the feet if you like. Reach your right hand out and grab onto your left leg anywhere that feels good. Ankle, calf, or thigh is fine. Bring your gaze underneath your left arm and then check in with your hips. Sometimes the hips want to lean over towards the left. Send them right back to center between the feet. Release your right hand, look forward to set it back down in its spot on the mat, and switch sides. Left hand reaches up, grabs onto the right leg, anywhere that feels good. Ankle, calf, or thigh might be a different spot on the other side, that's okay. Gaze comes underneath the right arm, and check in with your hips, bringing your hips right back to center between the feet. Release your left hand, look forward to set it back down in its spot on the mat. And then come all the way down onto your belly. Taking a little rest here. You can stack your hands and rest your forehead on your stacked eyes. Reconnect with the breath. Find your nice, strong, deep breath here. Bring your chin to your mat, and your hands right underneath your shoulders. On a breath in, push your chest up, and slide your hands forward, dropping the elbows down to the mat, coming onto your forearms for Sphinx pose. Elbows should be right underneath the shoulders. If this is already enough in your back, you can stay right here. If you want a little bit more of a back bend, you can straighten out your arms. Just really be conscious of how this feels in the lower back. If it ever feels like too much, just drop your elbows back down to the mat. And take one more breath in. And release your elbows down to the mat as you breathe out. Bring your left arm at an angle in front of you. Kick your right foot up and reach your right hand back. Grab onto that right foot. Pull it towards the hips. Release and switch sides. Right arm comes out at an angle in front of you. Kick the left foot up. Reach your left hand back. Pull that left foot in towards the hips. Release. We're going to come into bow pose. Lower down your chest onto the mat. Kick both feet up. And then reach both hands back, grabbing outside the ankles. On a breath in, lift your legs up to peel your chest up off the mat. Keep your gaze really low on the ground in front of you to protect your neck. One more deep breath in, lifting even higher. And release. One more time, we're going to take a rest. Stack your hands and rest your forehead. Or if your head was turned to one side, turn it to the other side, resting on the opposite cheek. Close your eyes again. Bring your chin back to the mat. Hands come right underneath the shoulders. Inhale, push your chest up and make your way to a seat. Staff pose, sending the legs out long in front of you. Plant your hands on either side of your hips. And then rock side to side, tucking your thumbs underneath you just a little bit. Push down through your hands, lifting up on the spine. Feel the crown of the head stretching up towards the sky. Flex your toes, bringing the toes toward the face. Push your knees down towards the mat, but make sure to keep your heels touching the mat. If you push the knees down too much, you'll notice the heels start floating up above the mat. Heels are touching, push those knees down as much as you can while the heels are still down on the mat. And try to keep everything else exactly where it is. Release your hands. Inhale, lifting your hands up overhead. Exhale, folding forward, reaching for the feet. Don't worry about how far you get down. Just listen to your body and find your edge. Relax your head and neck down over your legs, rounding out through the back. On your next breath in, walk your hands back to lift up your chest. Bring your hands behind you, fingers pointing towards the hips, knees come up, pointing towards the sky. Gently windshield wiper the knees side to side. And come onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lifting your forehead up to your knees. Curl into a tight little ball. Squeeze everything together. Release your head back down to the mat. Finding your kneecaps with your hands. Do some gentle circles in the sky with the knees. And find circles going the other way. Release your hands out wide in a T. Float your legs in a tabletop, 90 degrees on the knees and hips. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, dropping your knees down together towards the right, all the way to the floor. If your knees are popping up, you can tuck your right fingers inside the crease of the left knee to help them stay down. And bring your gaze over to your left hand. Release your right hand back out to the side. Lift the knees up to center, breathing in. Exhale, dropping them down towards the left. Trying to keep that 90-degree angle in the knees and hips. Left fingers can tuck inside the crease of the right knee to help them stay down. And bring the gaze over to the right hand to complete your twist. Release your left hand back out to the side. Lift your knees up to center, breathing in. Happy baby pose. You can hold outside your knees with the legs bent, or you can open up your feet, reach for the pinky toe edges of the feet, and push your tailbone back down flat on the mat. Gently rock side to side. Maybe you want to bend one knee and straighten out the other leg. And straight back and forth like that a couple times. And release, making your way to Shavasana. However you are most comfortable is fine. Any laying down position. If you're not comfortable on your back for some reason, you can also take Shavasana on your belly or in a seat. Just find wherever you are most comfortable. Lift your heart up and pull the shoulder blades down the back. Bring your chin into your chest and rock your head side to side, just letting your head fall back to its natural center point. Release your breath. Make your way back to natural breathing. Release your body. Feel yourself melting into the ground. Let any tension flow out of you. And release your mind. Just watch your thoughts come and go, like clouds in the sky on a windy day. Find a few moments of stillness to complete your practice today. Blink your eyes open and start to make your way back up to a seat. Thank you all so much for joining me today for yoga. Namaste.